In case you're curious, ZePass is how the Germans say "the." So that's why ZePass is actually der Pfad. So it's funny. And I'm Mario Bodemann. I'm here for the jokes. Who are you?
I'm Milos. I'm not here for the jokes. I'm here to keep Mario in check. And
good luck with that.
Also, hopefully, do the presentation. So, this is not a new project for us. I want to give you a short recap of what we did in 2023. So, let's look at the recap. Basically, we did a couple of things last year. We started with the badge. So the badge, that's the one over here. It's a hardware device where you can. It runs Python, some version of Python, CircuitPython, and we kind of forked it, and it runs this ZOS, and it can show stuff on an e-ink display. It's basically kind of a Raspberry Pi with some modifications. So it seemed interesting as a badge to use at a conference and to like put your name on it or maybe some photo. On top of this badge, we needed a way to communicate with it, and so we built the Android app. Since then, since the first version, we actually have now a Kotlin KMP library, and the Android app runs this Kotlin code with Compose on top. And the library can also run in a terminal mode, web mode. Somebody added a PR for Windows recently. Interesting. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but the very basic stuff is that we send commands via the serial port to the badge, and then we get some responses also the same way. And we have like an encoding standard and some other stuff. So it kind of works. And on the right side, you can see what the app looks like. There are slight design updates since the last version, but we'll tell you more about what we have today in a bit. So that's kind of what we did. What was particularly interesting, especially for the engineering crowd, is that these devices run e-ink displays. So basically, it's just like black and white. And it's not so easy to move from a colored image to black and white. To do that, we used the Floyd-Steinberg dithering, or should I say Z-Floyd-Steinberg dithering. And that basically produces this kind of image. The e-ink badge is really a low resolution display device, and to move it from like a high resolution image to this, there's like a complicated mathematical formula, but it's doable and mostly gives okay-ish results. So if you have high contrast images like black text on white background or the other way around, then it's not so difficult to convert, and that's mostly what our badge did. So yeah, that's what we did. Do not go into too much detail about how it works. We'll give you also the link to the GitHub repo afterward, and then you can take a look there. So how we did it? We work with the Google Developer Group community, and there are a lot of people who come to our meetups and to the booth at droidcon. And basically the rule was you write code, you get a badge. And there were a lot of people who came just to write some code, to create some contribution. We started at more or less at droidcon 2023. There were about 100 commits during droidcon. There's about 100 contributors, and we gave out more than 100 badges. So this is the process, right? This is from our point of view, the photo on the top. It's showing like there's a lot of people hacking, chatting, trying to fix something, trying to do something. And this was the case for all 3 days. And we lost, like we gave out all of the badges before the conference ended, and people were coming to get more. So it was a popular thing, right? And you can also see in the Git chart that there was a really high spike of activity. Then afterwards, we kind of, let's say, kept it in maintenance mode for a while. Then around this year, when we started planning for droidcon 2024, we started doing some work again. And hopefully then here we will have another spike because of this conference. So that's what we did last year until now. And then I give it to Mario to talk about
Z now. Hi. So thanks so much, Milos. Let's talk about the problem we are facing, right? So we did a great thing, and I'm just gonna be egoistically here, right? So we have the badge, cool. It works, it's fine. But how can we make a second one? Like, what would be amazing to have for a second year edition? Hey, let's find out together. So we thought like we need more things because that's usually how you do, right? You have one thing and then you add more to it till it's so much that you can barely control it. I am not sure where we are in this stage right now, but Milos will tell me once we have too much shit happening. Please don't ask me about next year because, yeah. Let's talk about hardware. Again, we thought, let's do 100 badges, right? So like we have 100 badges to give out, but we thought like, okay, we excite so many people right now sitting in this room. Why not add also extensions to it? So you do one PR, oops, I'm gonna spoil it a bit. You might get a badge. And then we also want you to do a second one. How do we motivate you to get a second batch running, a second PR, so that you can get like those beautiful things by exactly that? We are motivating you by saying you get an extension module when you do a second PR. Okay, those extension modules are amazing. Why? Because they allow you to use the badge while they're not attached to an Android app. I know this is kind of weird to say this in an Android conference, but at some points you might like to put down your Android phone and actually pick up the badge. And in order to facilitate this one, we thought we're gonna add a keyboard to it because everybody needs to type on physical keyboards that are small enough. And then we also thought we cannot live without the one thing that is internet. So we added internet in the form of a Wi-Fi extension to our badge. And obviously, with new hardware, you need to do more software. And you saw the little spike down there from Milos's graph on the contributions. We use this to add a lot of software to it, if I'm honest. We have the Android app, that's great, that's running. There's an overhaul in like how the UI looks and how it works underneath. But we also thought like, we can do apps on the badge. Because YOLO, why not? If we want to do badge on apps on the badge, we need to have an own OS. We call it ZOS, as you should. So it also has some kind of multi-threading on it. But I can start talking more about it, but I look at Milos and he says, Mario, it's this time again, just calm down, it will be fine. Keep talking about the things we agreed upon and everything will be good. So yeah, we have ZOS. We have some AI, because it's 2024, I think you need to have AI on it, right? I also heard like the 90s called, so we need a web page. So we have a web page that is filled by KMP. You can check it out right now if you go to zbadge.app. Please do so right now. It will tell you it does not do anything, but at least I get one more view from you, which pays nothing but except for what I call self-esteem. Thank you for your views. Desktop terminal server, you have an API there. You can call this API and generate images or do your own shenanigans with it. But speaking of shenanigans, let's go further down the beautiful rabbit hole. And actually remember what we are here about. The talk is titled ZePass, right? So we want to find a way, how do we make those badges now communicate with each other? What you're seeing here is the chat history of two people talking using the badge. So they have the base module ZBadge, then they added Z-Wi-Fi to it, and then they are opening ZePass app by pressing on Z, and then obviously pressing the down button for uploading a new post. Once the new post is uploaded, it'll appear in beautiful black and white on the screen of ZBadge. So yeah, you are excited as me, I hope, and if not, I'm sorry. Let's just go again. The rabbit hole is not. We are not at the end yet because we need to actually build this thing, right? So we have crazy ideas, and this is one way how we started to implement them. Because if you want to have internet, you need to have the Wi-Fi extension. The Wi-Fi extension needs to, for instance, know what is the SSID. How do I connect to the Wi-Fi existing? And that's through Z app. So you connect Z badge through a USB-C cable to your Android phone and start configuring the badge and therefore which Wi-Fi it connects to. Once you have the Wi-Fi configured in SSID and password fashion, you automatically always have a user ID. Every badge you are getting from us has a unique user ID that we can track and follow wherever you are. No, we wouldn't do that. We aren't evil. So this user ID is also your access token, right? So if you happen to want to change your username or the background story we gave you or the image we gave you or your one-word keyword, you are not having a chance right now because we're waiting for your PR for it, but there would be at least an idea of how you can get there. But okay, now you are connected, you have your user ID. With those things, you can now actually post using our API and the Wi-Fi module to ZePass app. Once this one is done, we have to forget everything we know about like how things we are doing on Android works, because we have something like retrofit where we just say like, hey, please call this endpoint for me. This is not how it works with the module. We are having to think about what is TCP.
Actually, we have enough time. We can talk a little bit about...
I can talk. Oh, you can't do a better favor for me right now.
I'm monitoring. You can talk a little bit about the
okay,
ACS.
Somebody is paying attention. That is amazing. Thank you so much. So now, guys, you have the great chance of listening to me more, talking about strings and how TCP is working underneath. Thank you so much. Because the module we are using does not come with libraries I was able to find. So what it does, it opens a TCP connection and then says, YOLO, now do your thing. Like, do whatever you need to do in order to make HTTP run on top of TCP, which is, if you take a look at actually our screenshot from a chat interface, if you take a look at the code there, it's like, yes, you have to put in the strings in a specific format and then send it over the TCP connection on the badge so that the server we are also having created actually understands like what is the thing you are doing. Because at least on the server side, I was using KTOR, and KTOR doesn't do, as far as I understood, raw TCP commands. So I need to breathe heavily and say, it's fine. At least we added the 1337 as the port to it. So we had some fun creating those parts. But like once you have the TCP, right, you are saying essentially from the batch OS or ZOS, please connect to the server, send a post request, do the connection you need to do, and from the abstraction, once it's there, we can use it as we are used to. Because now I lost my thread, but this is fine. I still have time, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Also, you have the GET request now, because it's essentially just a change in the first string. Instead of a post, you put in a GET, and you have a bit more stuff happening there in the background. What I can recommend you is also following the link up there, which is zbatch.app/API/ZePass. And don't worry, those slides will also be shared on our social medias, mostly Blue Sky afterwards. So you can click on the beautiful links afterwards. This URL gives you a JSON response of all of the messages sent by badges out there. And I think now it's also time to click over to the next slide and see.
Did we talk about the posting?
Yes.
Yes. And the AI?
Okay. Did I talk about the posting? Hands up.
And AI.
This is a no or a yes?
AI. Posting and AI.
The AI was the teaser for the readers that they can see it on the next slides. Like, because I said once AI before, now we are using AI.
Let's talk about AI. It's extremely important.
AI. It is extremely important in the year 2024.
How many times can we say AI?
How much times can we say AI in this talk? How many times have we said AI in this talk? I think we need AI to answer this question for us. AI, please answer this question for us. Or I answer the other questions you have on your mind already is like, how do we actually use AI successfully? So because all of what I was talking about right now for the badge is not enough, we also created a complete role-playing game on top of the badge. Whenever we hand out the badge to you, we create an alter ego for you. And when I'm saying we, it's like, we are running randomly through a list of names and giving you the list, giving you an entry of this list. So you got a random name for it. If you have a badge, press B and C. But also we thought this is not AI yet because random lists is not intelligent enough. We need to use Gemini. So we asked Gemini, hey, can you create us a description for this user? So in the next slide, you will see what kind of description we got. This is kind of nice. Then we took this description and actually asked DALL-E, can you create us an image for this description? And that is your profile image. And last but not least, because we are so limited in resources and time, we said, like, you cannot control what you are chatting. So the one word you are sending is also generated by AI. I'm just...
You may think this is restricting in some ways, but everything is becoming AI. So AI writing for you, thinking for you, this is actually just the next step. It's an evolutionary step.
Yes.
Yes, it has nothing to do with like trying to block profanity and people doing marketing through the badge social network. It's just the next step.
Because also our server infrastructure is super secure. There is no way.
Super stable and scalable.
Yeah, exactly. So in order to just like skip this under the rug, let's go for the next slide. Also, thank you. And now I have added animations, as you can tell. Like, how does the description get generated? I decided to put this into two different things. Like, first, we have a system setup kind of phase. And we are essentially setting up the mood for Gemini, saying, hey, you are a Dungeons & Dragons dungeon master assembling a new D&D campaign at the droidcon in Berlin conference in 2024. You can also tell this is not written by an AI because it has human errors in it. You'll answer following questions with a description of a character's background story. They are all Android developers, either excited newcomers or old hands with years of experience. Please keep it brief and interesting. So you see from like this kind of prompt engineering, I tried to make it exciting and helpful for the AI to come up with good answers. So once we have the system, can you click once more this is then the actual prompt, right? We found through the random list a random name, and now we just ask Gemini, please give me a name for the background story of this character. Sorry, please give me a description for this name. And one more click. And then this is the result. Obviously, please write down the UUID. This will become interesting and important later on. But we have now created a new user with the name Nash Drake. The description reads, Nash Drake, a young developer with an almost unsettlingly bright smile, is a self-proclaimed coding wizard. He has been tinkering with code since he was a kid, building intricate visual worlds, and on his dad's old Commodore 64. So who has ever built a virtual world on a C64? So he is AI, he is so lying or hallucinating. I'm not sure yet, but it's amazing.
It's hallucination, yeah.
And like, so obviously this goes on for like 2 more sentences, and I'm not gonna read them again because you know how this works so far. But it's just like nice to see that the AI is generating us some kind of flavor for the character they are just generating. Also, the chat phrase is just a summary of the thing, and this is kind of boring because it just says code, but there are others like inspire or a tea time or whatever the AI thought is a great phrase for the user to do. But we thought, like, yeah, text is fine. We can also generate an image for this person we were just describing. And that's also what we are doing. We are taking the description, put it into a prompt for DALL-E, and then say, like, hey, please generate us with this prompt an image based on it. I added a bit more fluff to the prompt here in order to have some consistency, right? So like I'm talking about a picture for a fantastical school book to just like have the same style. And after the conference, I will create like a picture of all of those pictures and just see like how did actually turn out. And this brings us to the Zukunft.
Is the future, right? So that's all we did for in preparation for this conference, and there are two things we would like to get across. First, we would like to say again, we really liked people contributing last year, and people built like a whole app, and it was doing stuff. It was not just a random thing, and it was doing stuff. It was talking to the badge. People wrote like a kind of MS Paint, you know, and you could like transfer that to the badge as well. You can get any custom image, and we would like to see what happens this year when we are adding the Wi-Fi module and when we are adding the keyboard, and you also get a battery to carry around the badge, and it can refresh in real time. It runs at like, I don't know, 0.2 hertz. It's not so fast. Like the refresh rate is not great, but it refreshes. You can play Space Invaders maybe or a similar game, but not something high level. No.
I wouldn't play Doom on it just now, but like if you have ideas on how to speed it up, you know, we're here to talk.
So there are a lot of things, and we would like to see what happens. So that's the first thing we would like to get across. So you want to write code, can be anything. Come to the GDG booth and write some code, you will get a badge. And you want to write more code, you can get an extension. So we have the Wi-Fi module, the keyboard module, batteries, etc. The bit.ly is actually also valid. You can see the repo there. You can contribute offline, come tomorrow, come on Friday. All of that works. So first thing, please come and contribute. The other thing is we want to give you some ideas on where this could go. And there are many issues that we have on GitHub, probably around 20. It's minor stuff. It's okay. It can go to production. But there are other things that we were thinking about, like profile editing. This stuff is AI generated, and we are kind of restricting what you can write to this social network because we don't want to take any risks, right? But maybe we would like to change that. Can we do some profile editing? Can we do some content control? Can we do something around that? I don't know. Maybe people will come up. The library for talking to the badge is cross-platform. It's KMP. So can we run it on iOS? Maybe. We need somebody who knows how to do it. Can we use the phone's NFC to do something like touch another phone and your badges somehow connect and you post a common thing? I don't know. There is camera. Web3, I know it's over, but you know, we should focus on whatever is fun, right? There's a bunch of ideas. So we want to kind of push you in the direction of thinking of what this could be, how we can use the badges. You can carry them around now that they have a battery. They can refresh in real time. You can like talk to other users, quote unquote. Yeah, so there's a bunch of things that we think would be fun. And yeah, that's kind of call to action from this talk. And yeah, with that, we would like to ask you to join at the GDG booth with 2 PRs or less.
If you have more than 2 PRs, we might talk about you still joining us there, but anyway, thank you so much. Please join us, talk to us. The badge is amazing.
It is. So, any questions? Okay, all clear.
The questions, the 2, the 3, the thank you.
All clear. Good. Thank you.